please give your name and you'll be recognized. Dr. Borelli, let's start with you.
Good morning, Jeff and team. And first of all, I'd like to thank General Electric Security as well as the Detroit Police Department this morning. It was a spectacular performance, and they really did a great job. Speaking of the protests, I really urge the Board of Directors to really pay attention and not to dismiss the concerns of both the political right and left, because GE is now a target of both. And if you really sit back and think about it, and urge the Board of Directors to really think about this, General Electric over the years has really violated the public trust. General Electric got a $16 billion loan from the Federal Reserve and then lobbied and got for over $125 million in grants and contracts from President Obama's stimulus plan. You see, that kind of violates the public trust, where our taxpayer dollars are going to subsidize a company of which Mr. Sheridan just said how much money you're making. That's a violation of the public trust. And another concern that we have, Mr. Immelt, is with your position on President Obama's Jobs Advisory Board. We're concerned about a conflict of interest. Whose master are you really serving? At last year's meeting, you mentioned that you use your good judgment to try to avoid conflicts of interest. Well, that's a good statement. But what we really are concerned about is this conflict of interest. We've noted that when President Obama meets with the board, it's videotaped and everything is available for public scrutiny. However, the private meetings aren't. Now, what I'm asking you today as chairman of the advisory board to commit to make all the submissions of the individual job panel members publicly available, as well as videotape those proceedings when you're discussing with the jobs panel. That's transparency. That's for both political left and right, and this way people can see really what's going on. So will you make sure in your next panel before your meeting to videotape those and to make all the records public?
Dr. Borelli, we're currently in implementation phase of the recommendation of the Jobs Council. I'll leave any of the conduct of the meeting really up to the White House, but I'd say for right now we're just trying to implement the proposals that have been recommended.
Well, then would you make General Electric submissions public?
Again, I would leave that to the White House.
No, but no, I'm talking about General Electric submission.
I understand, Dr. Borelli. I understand your point. Again, as I say every year,
that's a no to transparency.
As I say every year, I respect your views.
No, I respect you too. I mean, you're chairman of a large corporation, but again, why won't you make your submission publicly available?
Again, all the work of the Jobs Council is in the public domain.
So I can find what
all the work of the Jobs Council is in the public domain. So
there's a memo with your name on it saying this is our idea.
All the work's in the public domain.
Then will you send that to us?
Thank you. All the work's in the public domain.
That's kind of a confusing answer.
Okay, Dr. Borelli. Thank you. Bill?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Bill Frieda, and before we cast our votes this morning for our Board of Directors, which includes members